There's been a lot of talk recently about who's the better player, Messi or Ronaldo, and maybe that debate has now been settled. Before that, we were mesmerised by another Argentinian genius, Diego Maradona. But for me, Pelé will always be the footballing gold standard, the benchmark against whom all players will be judged. Pelé was the king of football, like Elizabeth was the queen, a constant in our lives, having burst onto the scene in the 1950s. "20 players have won the World Cup twice, but only Pelé has won it 3 times. He scored 1,279 goals in 1,363 games. But all these are abstract in comparison to the skill of his first goal against Sweden in the 1958 final, or the gravity-defying leap and bullet header in the 1970 final. Even his misses in 1970 were genius. He described it as the beautiful game, and when he played it, it was." My dad, Ken Goldman, interviewed Pelé in 1981, just a few years after he'd retired. The humility he showed in granting the interview to my dad, just a freelance journalist, speaks to the legend of a man, and of course different times. In this long-lost interview, Pelé reveals how much he's missing the game and his love for the sport he'd helped to define. I'm proud to share my dad's work, and I miss them both.
There obviously comes a time when every player has to retire, but you know, you're a great player, a really great player. Do you miss the playing side very much?
Yes, not play, but I miss the people, you know, when they went to the stadium and went to see some games, then the people start to shout and all. This I miss. And of course, I didn't stop to practice. I practice with Santos when I am in Brazil. When I am in New York, I practice with Cosmos team. You know, this makes me feel more in the game.
Yeah.
But when I see some game, when I go to see like England and Romania, a lot of things, you know, shaking me inside.
Yeah. And that particularly, I suppose, you missed the international field because it was much more competitive.
Exactly. This is the game who shake you more because the responsibility, you know. When I saw Brazil play, then I feel like crazy outside because I can't do anything. When they stay outside, you can't do nothing. This happens normally when you stop to play soccer.
What makes the Brazilians entirely different, really, from all the other countries of the world when it comes to football?
Oh, I think the Brazilian play a little more open, you know, a little more spectacular. They try, because this is the way they play in Brazil. They try to give a little show for the public, and even sometimes it's not good for Brazil because sometimes you don't need to play, you don't have to play so beautifully because you lost the game, you get goals. But the public like Brazil. I think this is one of the reasons.
The Brazilians love to play with the ball, don't they?
Exactly. The Brazilians like to play more forward, you know, more with the ball.
But in recent years, they've managed to combine with a certain defence now.
Yeah, we have some problem there with forwards, you know. We have locked some wings, right wings and left wing like before, and the center forward. Then some coach, not only, but some coach, you try now to play more defensively, you know. This, the people doesn't like too much, you know, the people boo a lot there. But it started to change a little bit the mentality of the coach there.
And you spend a lot of time with shooting practices, bending the ball and such like?
Oh, I spend some time, you know, when I stay there. And also in the United States we have a school for children, then I stay there. That's what I do.
But the Brazilian players themselves spend a lot of time, do they not, practicing their shooting skills and have this wonderful ability to bend the ball with the outside and the inside.
Yeah, I think this is true. Since Zizinho, then after Zizinho, Didi, Pepe from Santos, and then Rivelino, Gerson. In Brazil, they have a lot because they have a lot of good skill player and the kicks and the free kicks, and the bend the ball, the banana kick. These, I think, have something to do with the balls, because we used to play in Brazil. The ball is a little bit heavier than Europe. You know, I don't like too much the European ball because it's a little light. Sometimes you don't make the curve who you try to do. Yeah. And then I think this is the reason why in Brazil you see more players who kick strong and bend the ball than Europe. You don't see too much goals, foul and free kick in Europe. But you see the Brazilians in the World Cup, in some exhibition game in the Brazil national team, a lot of the goals was a free kick.
Yes. Did you say you are now coaching yourself a little bit? Are you? You're involved with some coaching?
Is that we have the soccer clinic in New York, in the United States, for children between 5 to 13 years, 5 to 40. Yeah. Then it's good because I stay in soccer.
And would you like to become a manager one day?
No, I don't think. Maybe in 6, 7 years ago in front, yes. But actually, I don't think to be a manager as a professional. If I have to for work, you know, then I do. But if I have to decide, I don't.
What style of play do you yourself like?
Well, I think you must look for the technical players, but if the guy is a very skilled and technical, he doesn't have a good physical condition, he can't play. Today, they must have a good combination. If you have a boss, it's better. You know, it's much better. If you have one who lacks ability, but he's in good shape, I prefer to put the guy who lacks ability stay in good shape.
And in all your years that you played, are there any opponents that come to mind as striking examples of something you liked?
Well, a lot.
A lot.
I can say Mansing in England. I can say, let's say, forward and midfield anywhere. I say Bob Schatt, Bobby Moore, you know, players who I used to play against, George Best, you know, Keegan. I like to see Keegan. Now I saw Robson, number 4. I like him how play. Koppel, I like him. In in Germany, we can say Beckenbauer. We have a lot of good players around the world who I like to play against him. I enjoy to play.
Would you truly have liked to have played in European football, or would have preferred to stay as you did in South American football? And I mean, if you have the choice, because it's perfectly fair, you might always have enjoyed South American football.
No, I had a choice to decide. But I think when you stay well in one place, you must be there. I have a lot of invitation to play in Italy, in Spain, in Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Inter Milano. But I was okay in Santos. I was comfortable with my situation there. And I have luck because I could play almost 20 years without problem.
And how important is the American situation in world football now? Because you're very much devoted to American football.
Well, I think now is soccer in America, and football in America is a reality, no doubt. But I think commercially they take a little time because, you know, there they have other sport like baseball, American football. Is a little difficult to get in through the TV, the medium. It's not so easy. But to talk about youth, I think in the future, very, very proximate, quickly, they're going to have a very good team because every boy, every young plays soccer in the United States now.
And finally, is the publicity work which you have to do almost as hard as playing?
It's a little bit. It's not the hard to play. I like to play soccer. I love football. But as I stopped to play, I have to do something. And then, when I did the contract with the Warner Communication, I played 3 years for Cosmos, and I have 4 years more as a consultant international, like a public relation from Warner Communication. And Warner Communication is a big company. They have a lot of things. Move, Warner Brothers Move. They have machines, electronic machines. They have discos. They have books. And then I have to do something in that. I feel good.
Good. Thank you very much.